We're recording. Okay, so this is John Hauser with my YouTube channel, Free Advice. As you see, I'm sitting here on my exercise bike, trying to get some exercise. And so I wear rather raggedy clothes when I'm exercising. But one of my goals in retirement is to stay in as good a shape as possible. Try and exercise on a regular basis. I do a variety of exercises. I'll show you another one in just a few minutes. I have this exercise bike here. It says I'm going 10 miles an hour, 9 miles an hour. And it tells you how many calories you burned up, how many minutes you've been riding, and all that sort of thing. And I'll change the variety up a little bit by adding some hand weights. Simply sit here and do some stretches with some hand weights, and that helps to strengthen your arms and shoulders. And I probably look a little comical do this, but I do this a couple times a week along with walking and also eating lunch. I do this a few times a week to try and stay in shape. And I'll do this 8 to 10 times, and then I'll put the weights down and I'll go back to pedaling. And I typically end up doing this for about 30 minutes. Now, I'm not going to make a 30-minute video on exercising because after a while it would get kind of boring. But if I grip like this up here, the screen, it's got a screen up here. If I grip, it'll show me, it'll show you my heart rate. It'll show you how many calories I've burned. And it shows your speed. I'm not going very fast. So, starting a YouTube channel is a challenge. I like a challenge. That's one of the reasons why I started the YouTube channel. And I've got a lot of improvements to make. I've got to learn how to do this thing with the split screen, so you can do comments on other videos, or you know, what's called reaction videos. Also, I still haven't found, and I've tried several, a wireless microphone that will work with my particular phone. I have a Moto 5 Android, and I have tried 3 different wireless microphones, and none of them will connect. So I'm not sure how I'm going to resolve that. I may either have to get a new phone or try one more microphone. Without that microphone, I'm having to talk extra loud. Loud, can you hear me? So yeah, this video is going to be kind of just kind of talking along, exercising along. I have no special topic. I just really wanted to get on my exercise bike and do my 30-minute workout. But then I thought, well, why not turn on the video? And why not make another video that might be helpful to somebody? So here I am. I'm 75, going to soon be 76. I do exercise on a regular basis. I have been exercising pretty much my whole life. Grew up on a farm. I grew up back in the days when you were a preteen and a teen. You'd work on the farm or you'd help out on the farm. I learned how to operate a shovel when I was very young. Used to clean out chicken coops, you know, with the shovel. I learned how to drive a tractor before I had a driver's license. I was out on the farm driving a tractor. And behind the tractor was the manure spreader, because on this farm was 64,000 white leghorn chickens that my dad managed. And all of those chickens produced a lot of eggs, but they also produced a lot of something else. And that something else had to be periodically cleaned out of the chicken coops. So I'm driving down there in the field with a tractor, only a teenager, and behind the tractor is a manure spreader. You pull the tractor and the manure spreader into the field, you push down on the lever because it was activated by the motion of the wheels. And so you start driving forward, and once you start driving forward, the mechanism would start spinning, and it would start spinning the manure out the back of the manure spreader. Now, we did find out that there was one thing that John Deere, you know, the tractor manufacturer, John Deere will not stand behind. They will not stand behind their own manure spreaders. You have to think about that one a minute. So here I was, just a teenager, driving a tractor, stick shift, you know, big old Farmall tractor, had two little wheels in the front, giant wheels in the back, and just driving around out there in the fields, spreading manure. The other thing is we had a horse. Now, I grew up in central New Jersey. People don't realize how many horses there were in central New Jersey back in those days, and there still are. But a friend of the family gave us a horse. His name was Topper. His official breed was he was a pony chaser, so he was a smaller horse. But he was really fast. We used to get out there and ride that horse in the fields. And we'd ride that horse just as fast as he would want to go. And if you give them the opportunity, they'll go fast. So there was a lot of dirt roads back in those days and a lot of places to ride. The blacksmith would come out to the farm and shoe the horse for us, and I would take and brush him down and feed him oats and all that good stuff. I don't even really know why I'm going through all these memories. Well, it has to do with exercise. That's what it is. I grew up physically very active. When we were young and teenagers, we had bicycles and grew up on a farm, and the farm had quite a bit of road area inside the farm. And as children, we would ride those bicycles all around the farm and really got a lot of exercise. And then there were actually times when we would ride our bicycles to school, even though it was a little bit of a distance. I don't know if children do that nowadays or not, but we would ride our bicycles to school. Early in high school, I had a 10-speed bike, lived in the little town of Skillman, New Jersey, and rode my bike from Skillman, New Jersey to Princeton, where I went to Princeton High School. And it took a while to get there, but I would do that periodically. Then I went into the military. I was in pretty good shape when I went into the military. And in the military, they required us to run a mile. Seems like we had to run a mile under 7 minutes. You had to do so many push-ups, so many sit-ups. You had to be in pretty good shape. So after I got out of the military and got a civilian job, I got kind of fat. And after a while, I realized that was not a good way to be. So I started exercising again. And my wife and I would take long walks. And we'd always have neighborhoods that we lived in that we could walk, and we'd go out and walk for miles. And we planned our whole life while taking a walk. Matter of fact, we planned our retirement while we were out taking a walk. We'd go out and walk around the lake or the walking trail. And during those walks, we planned our finances. And we planned our retirements. And yes, we wrote it down, but we had it up here, and we'd gone over it so much and in so much detail, we understood what we were going to do. So on those walks, we planned a large part of our life, and those walks helped keep us in shape. And now I'm on the exercise bike. In a few minutes, I'll try a little bit on the elliptical machine. But I am trying to stay in shape. I'm going to be 76 this year, and I'm trying to stay in shape. I'm trying not to get too pudgy, not to get too lethargic, and I'm thinking about all the new things that I could possibly do in my retirement years. I mean, I'm 75 going on 76. I'm still in relatively good shape. I could take on some new projects. I could take on some new things. I might have, you never know. You don't know how long you're going to live, but there's a possibility I could live another 10 years. A possibility I could live another 20 years. possibility I could die today. So if you see this video and you're watching this video and then you read the newspaper that I passed away, then you understand what I'm talking about. But personally, I think that if we're not careful, senior citizens can get kind of dull. We don't want to be dull. We want to be sharp. So to stay mentally sharp, one of the things that you want to do is exercise. Now there's some other things that are important, such as getting plenty of rest, getting a good night's sleep. I take supplements. I've done a few videos on supplements. I'll probably do a few more videos on supplements, but I do take supplements. I think they help. My wife and I, many years ago, we actually owned a small health food store in North Raleigh. Was in that business for several years, owner-operator, and learned a tremendous amount about natural health and supplements. So if you would like to see a video on supplements and natural health, like and subscribe and put in the comments something that you would like me to talk about as far as supplements. We do our regular checkups. We go to the doctor, get our regular checkups, and we try and do a lot of follow-up in our health, watch our weight, exercise, eat right. You want to do all of those things when you're a senior. Avoid becoming a diabetic. And there are ways that senior citizens can avoid becoming a diabetic. I meet so many people that became a diabetic late in life. It can be avoided. It really can, and I'd be glad to talk about it sometime. And there's a lot of natural remedies you can use. You want to avoid a lot of prescriptions. A lot of people are taking all kinds of prescriptions every day. Keep your prescriptions down to a very manageable level, because those prescriptions can have side effects that are terrible. And it might just be a matter of changing your diet or getting some exercise. Who knows what it is? But look into those things and look into them and find out, what can I do to, I'll use type 2 diabetes as an example. Type 2 diabetes. You could look into it. You can do a lot of research on the internet. There's been a lot of books written. What can I do to overcome type 2 diabetes? If you look on the internet, there's tons of information, and it has to do with diet, it has to do with exercise, it has to do with the right supplements, it has to do with self-control, self-regulation. But many, many people have overcome later in life stage type diabetes or diabetes. And look into that. But anyhow, this is John Hauser with my YouTube channel. It's called Free Advice and a Grumpy Old Toad. I want to shut this off now and just finish exercising. And I'll talk to you later. I'll make another video. And I'm just going to keep right on making videos and keep right on talking. This is actually something I love to do. And I'm gonna keep on with it. And so we'll see you later.